Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. Over here is speaking Wyson that really would like to build beautiful parks, and you are watching another episode of Canada Lake Park, in which we are going to have a very big step ahead, because in this one video, we are going to build the entire section for our park. And why is that a thing? It is because I had I didn't have so many space actually over here, and I didn't want to split it up just to make videos from little aviaries for those little dimorphodons, Jacalopterus, because it's not really interesting, first of all, and I didn't want something like that. I wanted to be more monumental, let's say. Actually, that's the last main episode of Canada Lake Park. Two videos of this series await us, that being the last episode of the building, that this true last one episode, where I'm going to be just finishing this entire park, adding last decorations and exhibits, because there is some spots around the park so that I can make actually build something there. It could be exhibit, it could be decorative water, it could be another restaurant section for the park. So that's the plan for the future, that being the next week episode. And the last episode, of course, being the tour. The tour of entire Canada Lake Park. And I really hope my PC is going to handle that, because this park already with guests in it is very lucky, and I really hope that after ending this section, because I haven't played so much after finishing it and adding those another last exhibits and decorations, the game won't be crashing, because that could be not very interesting, and the only way to look at this park will be through the YouTube channel and the speed build episodes, which is not bad, but still, I really prefer those live tours, if I'm honest with you. But okay, we told about the future, so now let's say about the present. And in this episode, I decided to build this big, just like I said, monumental aviary that is going to be housing Thanatosdrakon, that being the newest addition and sadly the last species addition for Jurassic World Evolution 2, from Park Manager's Collection Pack, which is interesting because we started this episode with Segisaurus, and we're ending this with Thanatosdrakon being being the from the same DLC, and I think that's really interesting. I also thought about Quetzalcoatlus, but I thought I think that it's not a good idea. First of all, because Quetzalcoatlus is a big species, and I always want to give the I want to give some time for the species that are not as popular, just like Tyrannosaurus or Quetzalcoatlus, and we are having Thanatosdrakon, the animal that was the biggest surprise from the Park Manager's Collection Pack, because from the beginning I thought if we are going to have a flying DLC or a simple pack with one flyer, it could be a Hexagopteryx, because it was so much requested and it's very popular species. But still, we have Thanatosdrakon, which looks beautiful, have nice skins, and have awesome animations, especially the goat kill. But you probably, if you are just with this game from the beginning, you were watching this entire production of it, you probably seen this trailer where Thanatosdrakon is hunting the goat, which is for me really interesting way to hunt, to pull it into the air and then throw it, just like I think the eagles in the Alps. But I am more about paleontology, not zoology, so it could be wrong every time. Just like I'm saying, I think it was for sure the second episode. Check everything I say, because I'm also human And my mistake, I can also make a lot of mistakes in one sentence actually. So be careful. Every time you see something in the internet, Wyson recommends. Okay, but Wyson recommended, and what the plans of this video? We thought I said about the aviary and what is also going to be in here. There is going to be the bigger stuff section, and I know we have something like that behind the Tyrannosaurus Rex paddock, and I think firstly because it's so small, it's not very good for that entire park. It's too small actually. There is no so much people working there, so they can maintain this entire park. And this section was built with Tyrannosaurus Rex in mind, actually, not for the entire park. And I think that this little area where I place this little aviary just for the research, for the scientists of Canada Lake Park, it could be a good place for this last staff section that will be managing this entire park. It's in the corner, which is not very good from the side of infrastructure. But still, we can work around with that because we haven't so much space, and I wanted this vast staff center in the park. But okay, I just decorated the aviary. I also would like to do something different in this park in it and added a little bit of snow, so we can pretend that's just like the biodome from the Camp Cretaceous. I think that was season 4 and 5. It's not as technological, let's say. It's not so modern just like those seasons, but still I think it's working. And it is going to be home for Thanatosdrakon, and I can't remember now if I say it also will be Tapejara flying around with its beautiful skins. Actually, it turned out really well because we have the newest addition, the last addition being the Thanatosdrakon, and Tapejara, one of the species that were in the game since the beginning, since the launch. I remember it also appeared in the launch trailer for the Jurassic World Evolution 2, and lots of people fell in love with this animal, mostly because of its skins and because we have a new animal. And also we have new aviaries. Everyone was very happy because we had lagoons and aviaries. That was something new. And obviously I cannot wait what is going to be in Jurassic World Evolution 3 or whatever it could be called, because no one at this point knows, even Frontier themselves probably. But I'm not going forward. I think, yeah, I'm looking at the time stop in my program. So we are going to head into the species viewer, and being there, I should say that the only thing that I really, really would like, I will be really disappointed when it won't be in Jurassic World Evolution 3 is species viewer in the hatchery. And if not, I would like to have it in pause menu, because that's ridiculous that I have to go back to main menu to look at my dinosaurs. Choosing the skins for the Tapejara. There's really, really beautiful skins. I really like that, let's say, fire one, the thermal one. And we are releasing our beautiful creatures. Firstly going for individuals of Thanatosdrakon. And here comes a group of Tapejara. Yes, I love those species. Okay, but we went back to the build, and you can see my thought process when I have such an I have to say that it's ugly. I don't like this plaza so much. Is one of it's I think the worst in the park right now. I'm not so happy because of it, but still I hope that I manage to make it work and make it look actually that it has sense. So you have that space where you can just again look at this beautiful lake where the park is set in Canada. Actually, the lake that from which the park has its name, obviously. and you can just wait for the tour to arrive so you can hop in, or wait for your family to just go through the aviary and go back so you can have your coffee or something older. Eat it over here with the stunning view and be happy actually. In front of the tour, I would like to add something interesting and also to split the plaza up. And I added the John Hammond statue. I think that I made this very similar thing in Tyrannosaurus Rex Kingdom, but still again, I would like to honor Sir. It was, yeah, I think it was Richard Attenborough, Mr. John Hammond, Mr. Hammond. Okay, we have a monument of Mr. Hammond over here. So you know because of who you are here, and you know because of whose actions dinosaurs are actually going around in our world. But he only wanted to build a park. But there is also one recommend for me, because if you really like John Hammond from the movie, uh, just like me, I really like John Hammond, the movie version, because I think he's very cheerful. It is just, that's the kind of man that it's old a little bit, but still have something from child in it. It's but the John Hammond in the book is actually a villain. But that's all I can say. If you are Jurassic Park fan and you haven't read the book, I think you should go straight ahead and just read it, because I think that's a very good book in my opinion. I'm a not very big book reader actually, but I really enjoyed reading that book from Michael Crichton. So the entire section, it's called, I think, Jurassic World even. So you have those both novels, the Jurassic Park and the Lost World, from which the movies were based on. And thanks to that, we had those movies, just like I said, and we have Jurassic World Evolution 2. And okay, really recommend the book. Okay, but going back again into the build, there was something playing around, making some compromises again, because we are playing with our limitations, and I really would like to add a little bit of nature again, some rocks, some foliage, so it's not looking so boring and it's looking nice and clean. Everyone are happy because of the green. And yeah, you can see over here, that's one of those compromises you always have to take if you would like to make something look nice actually. But I think if you use also foliage, it could be looking quite nice. Also, you can see that in the cinematics at the end, which I prepared, because I added something of camera, especially those bush, and I really recommend that bush because it's a lifesaver in this game. You can hide so many things with it, and it makes parks look so much better. Yeah, I love it. I'm just in love with that bush. I really like that. Okay, so I'm looking again in my program at timestamp. There is going to be cut very soon between the recordings, because there is one section that I built, I think, in one day. Yes, it was in Friday, and another section was built on Saturday, where everything should be tied up properly. But because at this point I was just washed out and needed some break, because I had, yes, we are in after the cut. And okay, we are going straight forward into the nature, one of my things, and also to this beautiful bush, because I love this bush. And I think, yes, I'm suffering the FPS loss because I cannot see over here, but I think that the park is open actually, and that's one of the worst things in this game, only if you build those detailed parks. And yes, the park is open, and the FPS are dropping so low, and I have no idea. I was never the technical guy, and I don't know, just why is that a thing? Maybe because there is so much calculations for every guest going on. I heard that somewhere in the internet, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the game. You can have a PC that was calculating the not the Americans' way into the moon actually, or the SpaceX PCs or something like that. I don't know. But still, if you just bump in loads and loads of decorations into this park, into one park, release those species and open it to the guests, your game is going to have not a very happy time actually. So yeah, it's a sad thing, that's true, and we have to work around with that. I hope that in the sequel it won't be a thing, but I think it could be even worse, which is more probably at that point. And yeah, I was just talking about the things that are not related to the build because actually nothing has happened because I'm just playing around and making this little plaza look a little bit to look decorated firstly and look interesting. Also added this one of the newest fountains that were added a few months ago. I haven't used them so much because I couldn't find a place for them anywhere. And finally I found them with lights and benches and it looks, I think, really good. And I think I'm happy with the final result. Also, also a recommendation. Every time you build something in this game and you would like to have a tour on it, turn off the building, deactivate it, because the vehicles are going to cause you loads and a very big headache actually, because they are not allowed, I think, for terrain elevation, or I could be wrong, but I'm sure they do not allow for terrain painting. And also when they are passing by, they have their hitboxes, and you can't place rocks or foliage or something. I don't know, maybe a feeder, because they are just passing by, and just deactivate that and turn it on at the end. So to make your life a little bit better. Okay, now I'm playing around with this section. I made something that it's the same thing actually that was in the lagoon section near the Notosaurus lagoon. I used those trees. Maybe that was, yeah, that was the tree that I was deleting because I really wanted to use this smaller one because it's more fluffy. And just to line those planters up, so it's not just a planter and a mountain and parts of the forest, because that was looking a little bit ridiculous. So I added those trees to make it look a little bit nicer, and I think it does the job. If I am correct, because it's Sunday and I cannot remember right now what I'm going to do, I think it is going to make a signage for this area very, very soon. Because every time you go in those two sections, the lagoon section and the aviary section, you got those signs that informs you, yes, that you are here. You are going to see some marine creatures or flying creatures. And I think, yes, here we go, we are going to do that. The bigger one will be near this guest entrance, the path entrance, let's say. And the smaller one will be next to the monorail stair. It's not monorail. The Hyperloop station, the underground system. Because of the lack of space, it's not so much of it in here. And you can see that, yeah, it just on the back. I'm adding those pterosaurs nearby, so you know where you are, and that's the only thing actually over here. Still trying to make this plaza look a little bit more interesting. Also working around with rotation for those pieces, which I hate in this game. And I really hope we have a widget, just like in Planet Zoo, for example, so we can do that correctly and not just those keys. We could help ourselves with the mouse, because that could be really helpful actually. Also the widgets also going back to the widgets, it could be also rotation, but it could be also, I think, those XYZ. It could be just X and Z, so you can move that properly in one line, because sometimes lining some concrete barriers it's painful. It's painful and time consuming, and when you just if you do that and you see it's not made correctly, your heart is broken actually, because you lost a loads and loads of time to build something that it's not in position, let's say. Okay, again, working around to make this a little bit more interesting, fighting with those lack of space on this map. Oh my god, I hate that. And I made a little bit lake here, just like I made in the way to the lagoon section. And yeah, just to add more nature, because I would like this part, just I'm saying in every episode right now actually, I would like to have lots and lots of nature over here and make it look a little bit more interesting, so we are not just going the straight path forward. And yeah, that's the point. But yeah, I was talking about the small spaces. I hated it when I was building this little pond, and I was hating it even more when I was building this stuff section, because you can see those borders and especially this terrain. It was really not very pleasing for me playing around with those buildings. I hated every single minute. You could see I have some accidents like that with the terrain, and if I see that I couldn't place them in the place I could because the terrain was going up, and if I just move it in the correct position so it wouldn't elevate the terrain, but it still will be on the way, so you cannot go into this section. So it had no sense, especially you had problems with this aviary, and I'm going to have some problems with the decorations. Oh my god, there is one thing I have to note over here. If we are going to have another series for Jurassic World Evolution 2, it will be on the square map, because I have enough in those sections, especially of those ridiculous constraints, of those very weird map borders and this terrain. I just had enough. I just have enough. I need break. I need my lovely square maps. When I'm not interrupted, I'm playing in the center, building beautiful things, have enough space for everything, and on the end building myself mountains that are fitting everything nicely, so everything is tied together. Oh my god. You can see how furious I am just hearing what I have to say about these constraints on those maps, but I decided to build a smaller park for the start of the channel. I thought that could be a good idea, but after starting those smaller sections, I hated every single second of that. Because of this very big terrain constraints, being one of the most communications, even the obstructed is not as irritating as the terrain constraints, because those buildings, everything, most things in this game need such loads and loads of hitboxes. These hitboxes are enormous, and they are destroying every nice thing, plazas or something else you could build, and it's just ridiculous. I don't like that so much. I really have to go to play. I really have to play Prehistoric Kingdom on Planet Zoo, because I have to take a rest, especially from this game, and I really hope that another sequel for this game that is finally coming. I think yes, I was talking about that, but saying again, because that's very good news for everyone, for every single player of Jurassic World Evolution 2. I really hope we have something like turn off the hitboxes only for sandbox, and it could be a list from the angels, actually, something really good to an option to sandbox to turn out hitboxes, and turn off terrain constraints, which, oh my god, only those, or not Frontier, only those hitboxes. It will be a game changer for unmodded builds because some hitboxes in this game are so ridiculous. And yeah, we hate them actually. Those who are playing with mods are not caring at all since the start because this time we have something like free build since launch, but now it was a better way from than Jurassic Revolution 1 because for new species we have to wait, I don't know, for 2020 when the game was 2 years old, and in Jurassic World Evolution 2, we have new species nearly since the start, if I remember that correctly. So yeah, I think that modding the third game it should be even more easy for modders, but I'm not a modder. I never played around with something like that, and I have no knowledge, so I wouldn't say anything. Go to Kyodenic because he's making beautiful mods for this game. He made for the first game, and he's making for the sequel. And if it doesn't change, I think he's going to also make for the third game, but we will see. And also, I could be wrong. So check everything you hear in the internet again. But okay, I'm playing around again with this painful, so painful stuff section. And yes, we have paths, we have buildings. Now I'm decorating this little aviary. There is no space, of course, for the viewing gallery. So we have to pretend that animals are viewed by the drones that are in the hatcheries for the aviaries that are going from under under the machine where animals are lifted into the aviary. And yeah, we are going to put some decorations, and another period of my pain is going to come because those concrete barriers are amazing because they do not disturb the terrain just like the molto pieces, for example. But we are going to have containers in here, of course, and they are messing around with the terrain for some reason. Like all the decorations it could work just like these concrete barriers or planters because there are two types of decorations. One of them will just be there, just like planters. They do not do anything, they just look good. But the containers, for example, they're playing with the terrain, and that's sometimes really helpful, especially with the glitches where you are working around with something new, but it will also be ridiculous. Just like over here, you can see where the terrain is going up, and I have loads and loads to do. And over here, I was just placing them, and we are going to see. It not looks good, okay? You can see that it do not look good. I hate it because when you have such section with containers, it's usually flat, and it doesn't work. But we have terrain constraints, other things, and the containers lifting up. We can see also these ridiculous constraints over here. Those red lines are one of the worst things in this game, actually. Oh my God. I really hope there will be no hitboxes and no terrain constraints in the third game. I so hope a sandbox setting. Simple thing. Turn off hitboxes for the buildings. So we can place some of them together. It could be something really big. It was big in the first game, it is big in the sequel, and it will be even bigger actually in the third game, or I hope so. And yes, I'm just looking at the time of the video, just like everything is going on, adding last details for the stuff section, finishing it, and finally ending this build. It is actually longer episodes since last time because the Lagoon section episode, there was 2 episodes and every single one was about 20 minutes long. Now we have 36 minutes long, and the build is actually coming to the end, adding just a little bit detail those concrete barriers so they do not just they are here just to justice why are they here, so they just do not came from nowhere actually, and they are there because they are there, because they are taken from here. Adding some stuff. Also, I think I'm going to change the park into the night and add some lights to light it up, because that kind of stuff is always so, it has a lot of lights. If you was on the highway once in the night, you know what I'm talking about, yes? And you have night lighting everything up nicely so you can see where you are stepping, because you are in the stuff section. Everything should be visible here, not in the theme park, because it depends on the attraction. Also the way into it. There will be also a little bit of decorations next to the aviary hatchery. Yes, it was aviary hatchery. And yeah, I think it is going to an end. And I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I think I really hope you enjoyed my really long talk, because I haven't talked so long for a longer time, actually, for a few weeks. If it's bad, I'm really sorry, but it's a little bit late right now. And yeah, thanks for watching, actually, my dear friend. If you are here with me still, really many thanks. And don't go. Do not go anywhere, because just like I said earlier, there are going to be some cinematics, and okay, that's everything I wanted to say to you. So see you in the next episode. Now I'm saying my bye bye. Have a nice day, my friend.